Welcome, my friends. Sit back and let me regale you with my tales. So, this week on the State of the Escritoire, I'm going to tell you about my fantastical journey of the Cadbury egg. As many of you know, Cadbury eggs are like a seasonal specialty, and they are my favorite candy, but every year I always forget to buy them before Easter happens, and then I think about it a week after Easter, and I'm like, crap, I missed my opportunity to, stock up on my favorite candy. So this year, my loving wife was like, you know what? You always say that you miss out on the Cadbury eggs, so this year I'm going to order you a box. So she did. She went on Amazon and she ordered me a box of these Cadbury eggs. So, fast forward, that box arrives, and that box is the chocolate Cadbury egg. So I contact Amazon, and sure enough, they say we can't accept food back. So you get a full refund, keep the eggs. All right. So I reordered my Cadbury eggs again off Amazon, and what comes but another box of the same chocolate. So again, I get a full refund, and I contact Amazon. They're like, you know what, this seller doesn't know what they're doing. We're taking them off Amazon. Thanks for your business. Here's your full refund. Keep the eggs. All right. So then I go to eBay. And I order from a different vendor my beautiful beloved Cadbury eggs, and what arrives, but not joking, chocolate eggs. So again, contact the seller, end up keeping the eggs for free. Oh my god, at this time I'm swimming in eggs I do not want and do not like. Okay, so then I buy from a fourth dealer. Nothing shows up. I email him. I get a full refund that day. So he clearly just didn't have it or never sent it. All right, so then I'm like, you know what? I'll go back. I'll give that third person a try. I ordered another because each time I ordered, they were this. It was literally this on the picture, but this was not what was showing up. All right, so I go back and give that other guy a try, and then I get a box of the caramel. So now, which is different than the chocolate. So now I've got a box of caramel, and this guy, I contact him, and he's like, no, I made sure to send you Cadbury eggs, and I was like, no, this is your picture, and, it's not what you sent. So I get a full refund. So then I order a sixth box of Cadbury eggs, and lo and behold, what finally arrived. So thank the heavens, and thank my wife too for getting me on this journey, because now I do have my little stockpile. But along the way, my wife and my dad were like, just give up. The universe does not want it to happen. And I was like, no, you know what? You have started me on this journey. I will have this. And to this day, I stand victorious. In addition, I've got a bunch of chocolate that I don't want that I got for free, which is insane that I got like 4 or 5 boxes of chocolate for free that I do not want. But we have been giving it out for free around the office, around my wife's stores and such. So, but that is my tale of my Cadbury cream egg, and I finally have one. All right, so what is going on in fountain pen world? The Pilot 743 is cleaned out, so that way I can compare it to the Mag 600 amongst others, and in a little mini flex competition. I also have my 1.5 ground into an italic, 1.5 stub ground to an italic, with an insane little sharp beak. Versus that nice wide stub. So crazy awesome, more calligraphic style of writing. This one, as you can see, is pretty much bone dry because I've been writing with it so much. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up at some point. I might even commit heresy because this is Blue Dragon Gold in there, and I have Blue Dragon Gold, Blue Dragon Silver, and Blue Dragon Blue. The blue I didn't care for as much because the blue shimmer doesn't come out amongst the blue ink as well as the others. So I think I'm going to try and use that in this gigantic beast of a nib. And I might even, because I'm using the same base ink, they're both Blue Dragon base inks, just with different shimmers, I might even commit heresy and just dip this nib in without cleaning and get a little bit of gold in the blue. And I think that's okay, because the blue I don't really care for as much. And if I can give it an accidental little spice, a little jazz, then so be it. I've already got my swatches and my writing samples of it as is, so I might commit heresy. Stay with me for that. What else is going on? Let's take a look at our leather notebook here. this comes with me everywhere, every day, pretty much. All right, let's go. Let's see what we were doing. So this was the Captain Hook. Let's see how much we ran through in about a week's time. Pretty decent, actually. Almost a converter. So this converter goes to, well, there, you can actually see where it goes to. But I've used pretty much all of my Captain Hook through this week. So that's good. I had fun with that one. I do think even though I love Captain Hook, I think I'm going to end up going back to a different ink color just because I use this to correct other people's documents, and such a red to black ink is more alarming to a person than seeing an orange ink or even a purple ink or something. So I think I am going to go back to more of an orange ink, so that way when I correct other people's documents at work, I've got something that's a little bit easier on the psyche when they see that. So let's see. The Century 3776 Shoji here is basically all out here. You can see I'm pretty much out of there. So I might clean that and cap it for a while just because it's a bold I don't use as often. And I've got so many pens inked up, and I'm about to receive more, which is awesome, guys. I'm about to receive another package of some pens and some inks maybe to take a look at and review for you, courtesy of Dave, aka Hellcat, on Discord. So I'm really looking forward to that. What else I got here? This is just a little mini G2 because I was amongst some professional development classes with some peers and, just day-long things. And I needed a Decoy pen because people know that I have pens and they say, hey, can I have a pen? So when they do, I'm not going to give them, one of these pens. Far too valuable. Most people don't know how to use a fountain pen, and oh my gosh, if you do give it to them, it's just like watching, it's like putting a 10-year-old behind the seat of your car. You're just like cringing the whole time, like watching them fumble with it and then potentially, put too much pressure. I've seen people just use it completely the wrong way, and I don't want to correct them in the moment, but anyway, I've got a Decoy pen for those moments when someone's like, hey, I need a pen. Boom, I gotcha. Here's a G2. It's a lovely pen. This is what I keep in these inserts, or what I keep in all my machine pens, more or less, unless it's a Parker. In which case I'll cover that in another video. But anyway, these are a lovely little pen. This is my Decoy pen that pretty much stays with that for that reason. And then I've got my Pilot Short, which has more current options. This is actually a vintage from 1967 or before. But I'm going to clean this one of the ink out because this is a fine nib that I keep for my planner or, more work notes type thing. So this one, I have Cold Steel in there, and Cold Steel and Birmingham Cold Steel is a nice blue ink, but it's nothing too flashy or punchy. And with a small nib like a fine, I'd prefer something, the ink itself obviously can't have a lot of shimmer, and sheen's not really going to come through, so it needs to be just itself a punchy, like vivid, nice, bold color. So that's what I'm going to go with. And I haven't decided if I'm going to do Quasar, which is that nice indigo. Oh, speaking of, where is it? All right, here you go. Here's my EDC. I had this on me at work. But I'm going to do this Quasar, which I used, oh gosh, I use this one more than the other one. So I've got Quasar that I might use, or Thunderbolt from Diamine, which is a very punchy blue as well. So I'm going to clean this one out and replace it with a more punchy, simple color without the sheen and the shimmer, just because this is a fine nib. If you notice too, I do keep my clips kind of askew, because if they are straight up, they kind of indent into the book. You see indents in your journal, and then that also imparts more pressure there. So I put them there, so that way the bulk of the pressure is on the bodies, as it should be more evenly distributed. And I just kind of alternate the, I kind of alternate the clips so that way they don't poke each other too. So, all right, let's look at this EDC, see how much of the, what was this, Quasar? Diamine Quasar. Very tiny bit too. Nice. Yeah, this ink was a really nice ink too. I'm definitely keeping it around as far as a straight color. This was a wonderful indigo. Very bold, very vivid, very punchy. Love it. So I'm definitely keeping that one around, but I'm going to clean this pen so that way I can go ahead and use it as a test bed for a different ink too. What else is going on? Here we go. This had, what is it? Emerald of Chivor, which is pretty much going to stay with this pen unless I decide to put that in a different pen. Even that, I've actually used quite a bit of Emerald of Chivor, about half my converter there, so that's good for another week or two, though, at the rate that I use my many inked up pens. Let's see what else we've got lined up. We've got a sample of Henry David Thoreau, here, and we still have Wearing Gold Hades that I think I'm going to put in a stub. What else? Oh my gosh, I still have to get to Downpour. Oof, I feel bad, man. I still haven't gotten to Downpour, so maybe I'll put this in the medium just because it gets I'll fill this converter and use it in a week. And the dip nib has been surprisingly fun. I can definitely say this is a cool experience. It's way easier to use multiple inks, to use samples, and when I do my reviews, if you're gonna, get the maximum attributes for an ink, you're gonna go ahead and use something like this. Also, it's great for opening letters. I might write Dear so-and-so with this and then go into a different pen with, the rest of the letter. But this has also been a really cool and relatively inexpensive addition to the collection. All right. Well, thank you for just kind of hanging out with me and, catching up on the state of the Escritoire, as it were. And I've got a lot of pens to clean, and I've got a lot of stuff to do as well. But I'm not going to bore you with all that, so I will leave you at this, and we will see you soon. I look forward to spending more time with you and showing you more of my fountain pen life and just kind of what's going on the daily. I actually did use all these, by the way, today because I had those meetings. So each of these pens and this one and my Q3D bolt all got action today because I was taking notes, and when I separate different segments of my notes, I like to use different colors. It helps me to, isolate and identify different information and kind of, store it, compartmentalize it easier in my head. So all of these pens here, except for the G2, I didn't pull out the G2 because this one actually here is a G2 in a nicer color, a teal. So all of these pens, but my Decoy Pen actually did see use today. So woo, yeah, go there. All right. Well, thanks for coming along with me on the journey, and I'm definitely not going to bore you with cleaning all these pens. Maybe I'll do separate videos on each one at some point, but thank you for sticking with us, and we hope you have an awesome, awesome journey that leads you to serenity.